Wow, look at you guys. You guys are early. All right, we got about 15 minutes or so. Just getting prepared here. Welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. All right, get everybody on. If you have any inactive distributors, got any inactive distributors, get them on right now. Get them on right now. We'll get them moving. Tonight's about getting you inactive people into activity. Maybe you. So get them on right now. See anybody who's not active? They're around, but not active. Get them on the call. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. How's my sound? Thumbs up.
Recording in progress. You are anywhere within a month.
Just logging into Zoom. This is my work music. Actually, it's called the hacker music. When I work, I can't have words. It distracts me because I write a lot. So I need music with no words. Hello, Charlene. Dominica's in the house. Anguila's in the house. Raymond, where are you from? We're getting into Zoom.
I had sort of dabbled in a few businesses before, but never really had the results. And it was actually the company's forensic networker training that got me to have guys success. And of course, you've been learning. This is usually this whole training system. It's like a 5-day actual session.
We're going to get started here.
9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And of course, every single week, we get to learn business parts of the whole system week by week. Of course, by a very special guest speaker. All right, let's see who else we have here that's joining the call. Good evening as well to Mavis Pitt, again from Toronto. And again, folks, for those of you who are in the Toronto market, let's just celebrate because the lockdowns are officially over. Every venue is back to 100% full capacity. There's no more happening out in Ontario without having to show your vaccine passports or showing any kind of proof of vaccination. And again, there's no more limit, no half capacity at venues. So now is the time to get out there. Let's get back to normal life. Let's get back to building your business. Of course, the one thing I love about this business of network marketing is you get to network, and I once heard an amazing quote from a really powerful trainer. And he once told me that everyone is actually part of network marketing. Everyone is always, marketing to the network, whether they know it or they don't. You watching this movie, your network, you're marketing it, you're telling friends about it. The only difference with the people who are in network marketing is some are getting paid for it and some aren't, right? Because we're all actually marketing something and we're all telling our networks about something. The difference is some get paid for it and, of course, a lot of others don't. So that is the beauty, of course. It's good to get out there, network, meet new people. And of course, now with the mandates over, restrictions lifted, now the time to get back to normal life. Go to those restaurants. We're done living in Canada. Of course, we want to go and build our multi-million-dollar stay-at-home business. Again, welcome. So good evening. We also have Zara from the USA. Welcome to the call. Of course, also see Drusilla Bass, one of our amazing leaders, of course, in the Toronto market. And again, for those who are in Toronto, please don't forget this coming Wednesday, which is tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. live at our head office. We do have, of course, our weekly tour session where you get a chance to hear incredible testimonials, meet incredible leaders, of course, and really just get to mix and mingle rub shoulders with the top earners of the company.
Recording in
now,
progress.
just so pumped that March 1st day officially is a day where we can get back out to living our lives, enjoying as it should be. So again, my name again is Rene Liao, Lifestyle Director with Awesomeness Mobile. When I first got started 14 years ago, of course, I was a single man working as an IT programmer, pretty shy, didn't really know how to, of course, talk to people much, but I was really driven to want to achieve more for myself. And now, over 14 and a half years later, I'm very blessed to become the youngest millionaire, of course, of the company. And I apologize for being in the dark here. I'm just driving home from my son's had tennis lessons. So I'm a full-time father and a full-time forensic networker as well, too. And again, welcome. It's not too late to message your team, your friends, and your guests that you join, of course, tonight's call. You're in for a special treat as our incredible speaker tonight is going to blow your minds with, again, different training topics on a weekly basis. And so, again, make sure, of course, that you also do join as well. We do have a YouTube live stream that is starting, of course, for those of you who want to be on YouTube. And make sure, of course, you go on YouTube and make sure that you like the video. All right. So it's coming up on 9 p.m. here. I'm driving my Tesla P90D, beautiful luxury car. And actually, guess what? For those of you who have heard about the new sort of Tesla, it's called the Lucid. I actually had got a special call from one of the top salespeople in Lucid at Yorkdale Mall. It's not even open yet, actually. And he gave me and my family a very special invite. I guess he found out I was driving a Tesla P90D. He's over $200,000 vehicle. I got a special phone call from him. And he put me on the actual wine and cheese party for the grand opening of Lucid at Yorkdale Mall. So, I've been studying a lot about the Lucid. It might be my next, it's like a Tesla, but the luxury version of a Tesla. And again, we'll see how that goes. But of course, it's 9 p.m. sharp. I know you folks are dying to hear from our guest speaker tonight. And it gives me absolute honor and pleasure and my privilege to introduce to you folks, our trainer for tonight. This gentleman here, there's too much to tell about his story. We could be here for days. Really quick, a gentleman here who was already financially free at a young age of 20 years old. He decided, of course, to come out of retirement, and he found an opportunity to really change lives with a special company here. So, imagine this multi-million-dollar company starting from the basement of his home, so today, a debt-free company, a multi-million-dollar company, a global company over about 200 countries. The gentleman here, again, has been seen on the front cover of the world's top business media, Canadian Business Journal, American Business Journal, was also featured, and Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year nominee. The gentleman here has now, created over 15 self-made millionaires through his training and his teachings. And I'm just so blessed that my path in my life happened to cross paths with this gentleman and his company, because if it wasn't for our amazing CEO and founder, Mr. Rami Misgarlu, I would not be here today. There's not enough I can say about you, your heart for the company, your devotion. You are truly the CEO with a heart of gold. And you took me in when I was just a nobody, an absolute nobody, no experience. And you gave me time, you trained me up to become, who I am today. So I always thank, of course, three people in my life. I thank my mom and dad, of course, my father. I thank God, and of course, I thank you and me for being my coach, my mentor, and most importantly, for being the founder of this company. And you could be retired by now with me, but you're here every Tuesday evening to pour your knowledge into us. And knowledge is power. So thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you our CEO and founder, Mr. Rami Misgarlu. Thank you for being on the call tonight, and a very good evening to you.
Hello, Renee. Thank you so much for that. Look at you in your car, and that's how the business gets done, right? There's no coincidence. The people who make it. There's no excuses. You could have had the excuse tonight. Your son is busy. You're not at home. You don't have access to internet or computers. See, there's a lot of people who would have made those excuses. Of course, and a lot of those people will never enjoy your checks either. But I have one question for you, though. I have one question for you.
Yeah.
I pay for your Tesla, so how come I don't get an invitation to go look at this Lucid? And they call you. How does that work? I mean, since I'm paying for the car, you think I get to be invited as a VIP guest?
Well, you know what, Remy? Just to give you credit, I did tell the person that I get monthly car allowances from my company. He said, "You gotta be kidding me! You get a car allowance for a Lucid?" You know, so I kind of did get reference back to the company. But again, thank you so much, Remy.
Actually, Lucid is a very, very first electric car I'm interested in. It just looks so absolutely insane with 1100 horsepower. So how can you go wrong? All right, tonight's going to be a special call. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Vernicia. If you have any inactive distributors, get them on tonight. Tonight, we're going to get them active. So tonight's about getting inactive people, turn them into active. Maybe that's you. But I'm sure you got some people in your team. We are live on YouTube. As usual, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, share with a couple of people, comment. Make a lot of noise on Zoom. We got everybody there. Same for you. All right. So let's talk about activity, inactivity, because a lot of times I get my topic because somebody asked me a question that day, and I got students all over the world. I don't know if you guys saw on Saturday. I had a forensic call for Iran, and we had 3,054 lines on Zoom. 3,054 lines. It's not even the biggest one. The one I did last year, last year, because my country, so I support the whole industry, MLM industry. Plus, MLM is big in Iran, and then they really appreciate the fact that one of the top guys in the world is one Persian. So, it's my contribution to my country. We had a Zoom call in Iran, and we had over 5,000 lines on Zoom. On Iran. And imagine they're not even in our company, but that's my contribution to the world. Like Renee said, I don't have to be here. I am here. I believe in give and receive. So somebody asked me, goes, I'm because this person uses a product all the time, very excited about, always very excited, just never does anything. So the question came out, says, why don't you just get stop billing? And says, "Oh no, I'm building. I'm on." And the truth is, I know the person was, but they're not really building, right? But they were excited to use a product. And then, look, if they just want to use a product, it's fine. But I know he wants to build. So I thought tonight we're going to talk about that. Yeah, it all came down to confusion, right? He just didn't know where to start. It's been that for a long time. It's been developed for a long time, actually. He just didn't know where to start. So, I made an analogy to him. I said, just because the engine is running, it doesn't mean it's in gear and it's moving, right? So that may be some of you guys, just because you're here, you're excited, you're using the product and everything else, but you're never really building, right? And, you maybe just waiting for that next day to come, or maybe you just, procrastinating. There could be many, 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 many reasons, right? And one of the reasons is that here's a problem when you take a lot of time off, right? It's like everything else. It's like going to the gym, right? If you don't go to the gym for a long time, then your body muscle, your brain muscle, everything falls behind. Everything, So, MLM is the same way. If you don't stay active all the time, what happens is that you're gonna be a little bit confused. I talk a lot about this in forensic, right? They get confused. When the confusion sets in, inactivity starts, and then that leads into demotivation, and eventually you're going to run into financial crisis. So, it's important that you know the difference. Just because a car is running, it doesn't mean that it's in gear, right? Just because you're here, you're excited using the product, doesn't mean you're doing the business. It's an interesting time we're here that we're entering, because it's post-pandemic now. And last 2 years, a lot of people have developed new habits. Like pre-pandemic, the old habit was build, right? Because you've been doing it for a long time, right? That was a habit. We build. Last 2 years, everything we heard from the government is stay home, don't do anything, and you get kind of throw money at people, and it's difficult to come out of that. It's difficult to come out of that. So, all right, we got a lot of people coming on board on YouTube as usual. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button, share the link. Tonight's call is about how to become active again. So if you have some inactive people in your team, just text them, get them on the call, share the link with everybody right now on your on social medias and your and get people on. So the old habit of building is kind of lost because we develop new habits, right? It's been over 2 years, and a lot of people find themselves, okay, I want to build, but I just don't know where to start. Now they feel a little bit confused right now. So one of the forensic terminologies that we have such amazing terminology. One of them is when confusion sets in, inactivity starts. When confusion sets in, inactivity starts. People just don't do anything, right? So it's important that I always said I only found one thing. I only found one thing that can eliminate confusion immediately. One thing. We call it the MO box. We're going to talk a lot about that tonight because for me, I use it here every day at the office, even what I do. I built this system 20 years ago. I built 4 multi-million-dollar businesses with it as a distributor. I still use it here, and I got my team using it right here in the office because we have so much going on in this company that they need to be organized, and that keeps you organized. So we're going to talk a lot about this so we can end this confusion. And to be honest, the fact that people are confused confuses me because what we do is not complicated and it's not unclear. It's not unclear. All right. So let's end this confusion tonight with one question. Well, what do you get paid for? What do we get paid for? Just answer. Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, just answer. What do we get paid for? Because you only get paid for one thing and one thing only, right? One thing only. Let me go to the chat in Zoom. See what we're doing over here. Volume. All right. Activity. All right. Presentation. All right. Good stuff. Tours. That's it. So people think we get paid for selling products. No, that's not true. That's a result. That's not a cause. People say we get paid for recruiting people. No, that's not true. That's a result. That's not a cause. We get paid for one thing only, and that's doing tours, right? You do tours of the products, you do tours of the business, and that leads into 3 results. 1, they buy your product. 2, become a distributor. 3rd, they're not interested. They're all positive, even they're not interested. 1. So again, we get paid for doing tours. So MLMers are acting like they're confused, but MLM is a simple plan. There's nothing to be confused about. Do tours. That's it. Oh, somebody's been to forensic seminars. Yeah. Oh, Yulia, she's all over it already. Good for you. All right. So it's nothing to be confused about. When partners complain about slow growth, just ask them one question. One question. Ready? Show me your calendar. Show me your calendar. That's it. Oh, my business is not growing. Show me your calendar. Oh, I don't know what to do. Show me your calendar. Oh, no one's listening. Show me your calendar. Oh, no one's interested. Show me your calendar. Calendar? Yeah, show me calendar. Let me see how many appointments you've done last month. Last 2 months. Don't have a calendar. Oh, all right. You know what? And then you're always going to get this one or two people that says, well, I brought a couple of people to the meeting. I talked to a couple of people, and they're not interested or they're not in yet. They complain about the last 2 appointments. Don't talk about the last 2 appointments. Tell me about the last 20. Show me the last 20. Show me the last 40. Last 2 appointments? Like, what do you expect this business to be? And sometimes we just need a little, guys, come on. There's no confusion here. We do one thing. We can pay for one thing. Do a presentation. That's it. Other than that, show me your calendar. You know what? It's empty. It's empty. Well, that explains. There goes the confusion. Not confused anymore. Oh, yeah. Now I know. No, you know. That's why I love the MO box. Because it reminds you every hour of the day, every minute. You're going to hate your kitchen table with the MO box because it doesn't go anywhere. It's not a calendar that's hiding in your computer or your phone. It's there on the kitchen table. So you'll be avoiding your kitchen because you're like, oh, damn, oh, there it is again. So you walk away because it makes you feel guilty. That's what we call the boss box. The boss box. This box made me my first million, and my second million, and my third million, and my fourth million, and my fifth million, and my sixth million as a distributor. Everything I did was in this box. Now I still got the original box here. It's metal. It didn't look as pretty as this one. You know, the one I was using was just an old recipe box. But no, you guys got a pretty one now. And the one I had is like this big. It's still here. I've shown it to you before, and it's like 10 kilos. It's so heavy, right? And I actually carried that along with me in the car. If I go to the city, I got 4 hours to kill driving. I'll be smiling and darling as I drive, right? So there's nothing to be confused about. Where's the confusion, right? You are not active. You're in, but you're not active. The car is on, but it's not in gear. Let's understand the difference between the two. Some people show again. So you're going back to whether that's 2 appointments. In forensic, we have a system. And the system, all of you have this box. If you don't have this box, I can't imagine why you don't have this box. When you signed up, it was an option for $99. It's $1 million system for you per year for $99. Right on it says 40 gets you 1. It doesn't say your last 2 appointments. It says 40 gets you 1, and 100 gets you 2 or 3. If you're 40 part-time dialing, that is. 40 dialing gets you 1 distributor. If you're full-time, 100 dialings get you 2, maybe 3. Where's the confusion? Pure input. There is no confusion there. So show me your calendar. All of a sudden your confusion all of a sudden goes away when you open your calendar. There's nothing to be confused about. It's empty. And all of a sudden your expectations go down quickly. Oops. But outside that visual proof, we tend to think we're doing because the car's running. It's not in gear. It's not moving. But because it's running, we expect somehow that it runs itself. See, post-pandemic is no different than pre-pandemic, except for one thing. It's better. It's better. It's interesting. I'm talking to people, some in our company, some in other, because I teach a lot of people through forensic, right? You know what I'm hearing now? I'm hearing the prospects they're a lot quicker to meet with you now than before pre-pandemic. Because I guess people, I don't know, maybe they're fed up being inside. Hey, you want to meet for coffee? Yeah, anywhere. They just want to get out. So I'm told by people who are really, really active now, they love getting out. They just want to get out. Maybe it's a social thing. The prospects now they're happy to meet you. So how easy it is, right? Hey, let's meet. I'm starting a new e-commerce business here, in Kenya. Okay, you want to see it? Coffee? Question mark. Right? Engagement, forensic, right? 30, 40 engagement a day. Coffee next week? Question mark. It's like 2 words, right? Right? So it's so easy now because you call somebody to meet at Starbucks or something. Hey, let's meet. I'm starting an e-commerce business here in Kenya, in Thailand, in Philippines, in Australia, in Israel. You want to see it? Starting a new e-commerce business. You want to see it? Starting a new e-commerce business. You want to see it? And you're gonna find people are a lot faster to get out. In the old days, people were working outside. They wanted to just get home. Now they're cooped inside. They want to get out. So I'm told by people who are actually building through appointments, it's so much easier. You want to meet? Yeah, I want to meet. so it's easy to do. You got to get out. But here's the problem. You guys are used to being at home now. So for you to come out that 2-year, habit, you need to interrupt that pattern, right? We need to interrupt that pattern. So it's a good time to prospect. It's a good time to prospect. Especially these are the days when nobody has any solutions, and we got tons of solutions. Pretty much every problem that's out there, we have a solution for. I mean, that's how easy it is, right? You want to get out anyways, spend $10 on a Starbucks coffee or latte, and what's your problem? Here's a solution. Starting a new e-commerce business in Israel. Starting a new e-commerce business in Kenya. Starting a new e-commerce business in Nigeria. You got to see this. You got to see this. Amazon is squared. You got to see this. Launch your e-commerce business. Are you a latte? Right? It's just get out. Fill the calendar. Fill the calendar. Get your MO. Fill the MO box. So there's nothing to be confused about here. You want clarity? Open your calendar. You'll be clear very quickly. Right? Open your MO box. You get clarity very, very, very quickly. So there's no confusion. Your calendar is empty. So that's why I love the Boss Box so much, right? It's a great reminder that the engine is running, but it's not in gear. In absent of that, you think you're doing the business. You think the engine's running and you're running the business. You're not running the business. Yes, running. You're in, you're not active. You're in, you're not active. Engine's running, it's not in gear. And that box reminds you of that every hour of the day. You can't hide from that. Forensic Network at level 1 is 4 levels, right? Level 1, the entry, talks about 23 engagements a day, right? Now, engagements are different than calls and dialings. Dialing is a dialing. Engagement is, text, message, WhatsApp, Facebook, whatever, right? Messenger. It's not that difficult. Coffee next week? ? Right? And we've been doing this. I've been doing this coffee thing for 25 years. I've used the same line for 25 years. It worked back then. It works today. People always want to have a coffee. It's a social thing to do. Hey, I'm in your area. What are you up to? Let's connect. It's been a while. Hey, launching a new e-commerce business, in Ethiopia. You got to take a look at this. That's how simple it is. Now, a lot of times people say, well, I'm not so good at this stuff. You don't need talent here. You need input. You don't need talent. You need input. Input is a forensic terminology for effort. You don't need talent. You need guts. You don't need talent. You need clarity. How bad the situation is right now. So you don't need talent. You need guts. Input. Effort. Clarity. There's not much solutions out there. Government has no answers. It's pretty crazy, actually. In my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this. But we don't feel it much because we're in we kind of walls of opulence. We kind of are clear on what we're doing, so which is really nice. But I know when I was watching my son play basketball, talking to some of the other parents, and actually running to a guy I went to high school with, and his son is playing basketball now. I hadn't seen him in God knows how many years. It was really nice running to him. He used to play basketball. And talking to him on the bleachers for 5 minutes, it was so clear to me that how confused he is. Interesting thing he said to me. He goes, Ramin, I didn't even know this. It's Ramin, I watch you on Reza online. I said, where? He said, on social media. I didn't even know. So be careful with that, right? People tell every time I go to a party, and it's all Sanaza's buddies and friends because all the Persians there, and I don't know anybody because I don't kind of hang with a lot of people. I only go to because trying to be a good spouse, but I don't really like those type of things. And every time I go there, a bunch of people say, "Hey, I love your stuff. I love your Twitter. I love your not Twitter, but your Instagram. I love you. I watch your videos all the time." It's like, you do? Like, yeah, it's amazing how many people are watching you. They don't like or comment, so you don't even know, but they're watching it. So be careful what you put up there, right? Anyways, So he says to me, he goes, yeah, I watch your stuff. And then you guys work really, really hard. He goes, Marine, you know what? I'm 57. He says, he's like a few years older than me. We went to high school together. He said, you know what? I'm 57. I want to get wealthy. I want to get rich like you, but I don't want to work too hard. But I want to get rich like you, but I want to get too hard. I said, you want to get rich, but you don't want to get too hard. He goes, yeah, I'm 57. You can't expect me to work hard at this age. What do you say to that? At least he's honest, right? At least he's honest. You know, at least he's honest. He wants to be rich, but he doesn't work too hard. And every time I hear a message like that, I'm like, okay, this is the reason why we have such a huge opportunity in MLM, because there's your masses right there, right? There's your masses right there. You know, so what time is it now? You see me, I'm at the office, I'm at the World Headquarters. You know, I don't know where this idea of getting wealthy and not working hard, I don't know who offers that. So, anyway, so the point I was making is that you want to make about 23 engagements a day. Engagements, quick message or whatever, Messenger, WhatsApp, whatever. Make appointments, or if you're more serious, get the MO box, dial, make appointments, fill the calendar, fill the MO box, and all of a sudden you start to see. You know what's amazing? So if you're back, if you're confused, right? It's been a couple of years. Some of you guys kind of semi-retired. Yes, you guys, you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. You're semi-retired, some of you guys, right? And you want to come back. Some of you guys making money, some of you guys aren't. But either way, you're semi-retired anyway. So you want to come back. All of a sudden, you're like, okay, well, where do I start, right? That very first phone call starts some momentum. Get the box, throw a bunch of names in there. Very first phone call. That very first input. It's like going to gym, right? Diet. Very first move starts your MO momentum. And your vehicle starts to move. Very first phone call starts to move the vehicle. Doesn't mean you're going to get a yes on the appointment. All it means that mentally you're going now. You're going now. Then you go on the second call. Third call, law of averages. Boom, appointment. Law of averages, few appointments. Law of averages, first partner. Law of averages, one more partner. So where's the confusion? There's a confusion if you don't have an MO box. There's a confusion. We're trying to process everything in your mind. And your mind is at any given time is trying to process everything it sees, everything it hears, everything you feel, everything that's going on from last night, last year, tomorrow, appointment. Your mind, you cannot possibly process your business without something that takes it away and focuses on. So where you can do, where you can start processing things, where your eyes and ears and focus works on one thing, not 500 things that are going on in here. You need the box. Most of you have it. Some of you signed up and launched, you didn't get it. I'm not sure why. Go back, get the box. We thought that you're not going to be consistent. I made everything I own is because of the box, because it kept me consistent. It kept me consistent. Let me tell you a story. I was 26 years old. I think so, 20. You've seen in my Instagram, you see me, I was wearing all leather. I got this beautiful black exotic car, and it's called the Acura NSX. At the time, they taught Ferrari and Porsche how to make exotic cars. And at the time, this is in 1993, the car was $135,000. So I got one MLM lifestyle, right? And I'm so excited because only four in Canada. So I had this big 5,000 square feet home, come down 12 steps. There's my office. It was just a beautiful pool in the back. You know, I'd made for my first million. Things are going good. I'm 26. And one day I come out, summertime, beautiful sunny day. Just got the NSX parked outside. It's black. It's just, this thing. I'm not tall, but when I stood next to it, the car is down to here. Like it's insane. So at the time, it won all the awards. And I remember when it first came out, the Carcraft had it on the cover. Automotive Magazine had it on the cover, and the tag was a Ferrari, but designed by engineers that have gone to college. That's because it taught the world how to make a reliable, exotic car. So going back to my story, come out. My routine is go to my office, and I use the box, and each slot, as you can see on the DMO, has 50 slots, right? So my focus was minimum 50, but I want to do about 100. Sometimes I do 150, sometimes I do 20. But by the end of the day, I needed to do on average at least 50 calls a day. Some are PR, some are follow-ups, whatever. So the system works. That day, I just got the NSX. I'm like, oh, look at that sun. And with my desk was, I could see the pool and the sun. I'm like, oh man, I gotta take that baby out for a drive. So I said, forget it. Close the box, and I start to walk, and I go outside, and this thing is parked there. Oh man. I went to close the door to take it for a drive, and I froze. I froze. You know what came to me? I'm looking at my dream car. I'm in my dream home. I'm 26 years old. And that's what I mean. The reason why you have this privilege is because of this business, because of what you've done. And all of a sudden, I'm going to take my productive hours when I'm supposed to work, and I'm going to go for a ride and neglect what got me here, which is that box. I close the door. I've been back to my office. I open the box. Now, those days, the forensic system works. You got the reds, which are the VIPs. You've got, of course, the green ones, which are regular elites. I wasn't going to do, because I had a lot in there. I wasn't going to get to the green ones, but at least I had, like 11 or 12 red ones, VIPs. So I got to get to those things, right? I made those 12 calls. Then I went for my ride. So the MO box, it truly is a boss box. If you're on the MO box, A, you're never confused. And B, even when you fall off the bandwagon for a little bit, it's short term. It's never long term, because you see it every day, you see it every hour. Eventually, it's gonna bug you enough that you're gonna get on it, and that's what you want. You need the reason why you go to your job is because someone's looking over your shoulder, right? Someone's looking over your shoulder. Here, in the MLM, this is your boss, keeping you accountable in a very organized manner. Very organized manner. That, if you miss a day, you go back next day, he didn't forget it. You open it, it reminds you, you missed a day. You missed a day. So we all need a checkpoint, right? Or we're going to slide, all of us. I created the system because I didn't want me to slide, because I'm like you. So I need a system that keep me in check, right? All right, guys, on YouTube, there's a lot of you there, but it's more than half of you have not liked this the video yet. Make sure, scroll down, just like it, comment, share the link, subscribe, hit the bell button. All right, so even I use the MO box here, right here. So when you take a look at this, how I run this corporation worldwide, so we have different departments, right? And I'm so busy. Look at my desk; it's an absolute mess. But this is full of cards, right? So here it's all the, and here, opulence, longevity. Oh, I'm giving you guys all this stuff. Lysol, delete email, fortune. I can't tell you what this is. The point is, every time I send something out to a department, it goes in here, and they know Ramin's going to. It is funny because when the day comes, I go through it every day, and if I'm following up on something, the title in the email would say MO follow up. No, it says MO box / whatever it is that I'm following up on. Staff know things better get on time. So if I'm using it, you need it. You need it. So here's the thing, though. So go ahead, right? Get your MO box fixed up. And if I can run it to run my global business, and without it, I'm not as productive, trust me. And I've done this for 30 somewhat years. Trust me, you need it. You need it. All right. So go ahead. If you want to get clarity, just open your calendar, show it to yourself, show it to your upline, show it to your My Five. And if you're confused, if you don't know what to do, open your calendar, show it to your My Five. And very quickly, magically, your answer arrives. You're not confused anymore. Magically, you just become very clear. Now, here's the thing. Unlike a business that needs to be in gear to move, your finances is moving automatically every day. Now, your business needs to be in gear for it to move. It doesn't move by itself. But your finances, your financial situation is moving automatically 24 hours a day, every day. The question is, which direction is it moving? The inflation of the world is about 15 to 70%. Well, some countries are ridiculous, like 5,000%. Let's not worry about that, right? Zimbabwe's of the world. But regular societies, inflation is about 15% to about 70%, depending on which country you live in. So the question I have for you is that, is your monetary energy matches the inflation in your country? If you're 15%, then you need a monetary energy of 15%. Did you create 15% more income today? Because if you didn't, you're poorer than you were yesterday. These are the type of things you have to know. In some countries, inflation is 40 to 50%, some places 70%. So wherever you are, minimum is about 15 to 17%. Doesn't matter where you are in Canada, US, minimum 15 to 17%. That's a debasing of the currency. So is your, is what you did today, did it give you a 15% boost over your regular salary? If not, you're 15% poorer today than you were yesterday for daily income, right? You fall behind. So that's an important thing for you guys. So once you get clarity on why you need to do this business, because you have a choice, because every day you're either getting poorer or you're getting richer. Every day you're getting poorer or you're getting richer. Every day you're getting poorer. Once you got that clarity, you won't burn through a day because it's 2 days in a row I got poorer. Because inflation didn't stop because you stopped. Inflation, and by the way, it's going to get worse and worse. There's no end in sight. We're planning today with our accounting team because we want to make an announcement on the product price increase, and the tough part for me is not to decide what that increase would be today. Every source I have tells me this inflation is not going to stop. Every source I go to, they tell me it's going to get worse. So we sit there looking at a reserve of our products, talking to suppliers, trying to figure out where we're going to be in 6 months from now, a year from now. Inflation is a serious problem in the world. You have that in your household. So are you getting poorer or richer every single day? Did you get poorer today or richer today? So once that's clear to you, then you know you got to do something. Then you're going to open your calendar. You open your MO box. Make sure it's full. So today you can meet the monetary energy, the monetary velocity of inflation. You got to match and beat inflation if you don't want to get poorer. It's that simple. It's that simple. You know what's going on right now in Russia and Ukraine? So it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible what's going on, right? But the Ukrainians, if there are people, the ones who have, say, e-commerce business or MLM business in Ukraine, the minute the war is over, they're back to normal because they're back to work, right? The minute the war is over, the Ukrainians who have e-commerce business, MLM business, boom, They didn't miss a beat. They're back to work because they're on the internet, they're at home, they get the whatever. They're working. But that's not true for other types of business in Ukraine, right? I mean, there's destruction, there's all kinds of. So it's going to take a while for other types of business to actually become operational again. Not MLM, not e-commerce. Look how awesome this is, right? Now, even the Russians, for example, right? Right now, they have a lot of problems in businesses because of all the sanctions and restrictions and banking, all that stuff. So a lot of these businesses are suffering. But if you're a local MLM business, they are not suffering. They get their products every day. They sell every day. They recruit every day. MLM hasn't changed in Russia today, even. That's the advantage of MLM. If MLM can stay that stable during the worst times, can you imagine how good this is? If a war can't stop MLM, if lockdowns can't stop MLM, if pandemics cannot stop MLM, this is incredible, guys. This is, we got to really appreciate this baby here. Right? We got to really, really appreciate this. You know, what's nice thing about inflation, MLM businesses, the inflation on MLM businesses is also a lot less than traditional businesses. That's an advantage, again, we have. Last 2 years, we didn't raise the price at all. While everybody else is going up like crazy, even my costs went up on my suppliers. But see, with us, our inflation is less than a traditional business, because traditional businesses, there is a lot of middle people there, right? There's a lot of middle people there, and every single stop has their own inflation, right? Every single stop has own inflation. But with MLM, it's direct to consumer. So with us, our inflation, there's less layers to be subject to inflation. So we can handle these crises much better than a traditional business can. Give an example. I was 25 years old, ordered this very, very special Mercedes from Germany. It was a SL500, white, blue top, blue interior, European sports package. I mean, I ordered it. I had to wait for it. Back then, again, it was 132,000. 1990, that was a lot. 1992, 1995. That was a lot of money back then. So I ordered it, and it came, and I was kind of curious because I paid 132,000. I wanted to know how much was this car when they left Germany. When they left Germany. In those days, having an SL500 was a big deal. Today, everybody has one. But those days, it was a big deal. It was probably the biggest car you can get next to a Rolls Royce. So it was rare. It was expensive, whatever. Anyway, so I paid 132 in Canada. By the time it got to me, I wanted to know how much it was when I left the factory. I found out when they left the factory, it was $76,000. So I left the factory in Stuttgart, it was 76,000. By the time it got to me, it was 132,000. What happened? Well, that Benz, by the time it left the factory, then it got to me, there was 17 stops along the way. It was 17 stops along the way, including getting taxes and all the warehousing and shipping. So all those 17 stops brought double the price from 76,000 to 132. So that's why I love MLM, because MLM, we don't have to go through all those stops, right? We have, we have a few, and then we have a compensation plan, right? But there's no inflation on the compensation plan. It's set. So we don't have to go through all these different types of inflations over and over again. So MLM companies, that's another advantage we have. We get affected less by inflation than a regular business. I love that. So hopefully you guys are pretty clear on your confusion. You shouldn't be confused at all. If you're confused, look at your box, right? 40 get you one. 40 darlings get you one partner. 100, if you're full-time, 100 gets you 2 or 3. You can't be confused. So now that you're not confused anymore, you open this up. If it's empty, you're definitely not confused. You know what the problem is. Now you have action to do. Put some stuff in here. The next action is smile and da. The next action is make an appointment. So when I heard today, somebody says, I want to build this. No, first it says, no, I am building it. No, you're on. You're not in gear, right? Right? You're in, using the product, excited, but you're not active, right? You're not active. So they say, yeah, but I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. Great, open your calendar. All right. Somebody calls, here's the thing. When somebody calls you up to complain about things are not going as fast as they thought, okay, let me see your box. Oh, I don't have one. Oh, okay. Let me see your calendar. Why? Let me see it. There's nothing in it. Right? So what happens, all of a sudden the call turns from complaint because the calendar and the mobile box kind of answers them, right? All of a sudden that call turns from a complaint into, okay, here's what we got to do. Now, instead of you hearing a complaint, he's like, okay, let me help you. What you got to do next, right? It changes the conversation because if you are active, you get the results. If you're not active to a point that you're confused, it's just been too long. Like you just need to get back into momentum. And all of a sudden that call turns into, okay, let's build up your calendar. Let's fill your calendar, right? Let's do 20, 30 engagements, some messages. Let's do 20 dialings, right? 30, 40 dialings, right? 40 dialings in a week, by the way. It's not even a day. It's 40 dialings in a week if you're part-time. If you're full-time, about 100. That's minimum, though. But a week, that's nothing. And in forensic system, you've been to the forensic seminar, that's all about an hour and 25 minutes PR time per week. It's very scientific, right? We've talked about how many times, how long it takes for the phone to ring and answering machine and so forth. So once you've got clarity, the why things are not moving, then at least now you know what you got to do, because there is a visual here. Without it, your mind is trying to process. And while your mind is trying to process what to do, and then all of a sudden you get so overwhelmed and get drained and you get cooked in the squad. Remember that story? You get cooked in the squad. Who remembers that story? Grandma and the cookies. Just in case you're new. Says a little boy, he loves his cookies, loves his grandma's cookies. And good, some of you guys know it. And so every day he goes to see grandma, gives him a big fluffy cookie. And so he goes in one day and grandma gives him a cookie. It's not big and fluffy. It's like skinny and, small and skinny. And he's like, Grandma, what happened to the cookies? And grandma says, well, I did this thing and I put it in the oven and I put it on the wrong temperature and I wasn't paying attention. And when the cookies were rising to, where they were squatting to rise, they got cooked in the squat. They never got to rise. So is that you? Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. All of a sudden you get cooked in the squat, right? Confused. It's been so long. You just don't even know. You don't even know where to start. It happens quite often, actually, especially with people who have seen some success in the past, right? And they actually made money, but I guess new habits took them off. It's like going to the gym, right? If you don't go to the gym for a while, if you're a runner or you stop running for a while, it's the same. It's the same thing. Change your eating habits for a while. It's hard to get back. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. All right, so let's get going. I mean, this is not that hard, guys. 20, 30 engagement. Hey, let's meet for coffee next week, launching new business, e-commerce business. You need to see it in India, in Indonesia, in Malaysia, wherever you're at, e-commerce business, you got to see this. That first appointment gets the car moving. Once you've done the first appointment, oh man, you're on the road now, right? As if that 2 years you were never off for 2 years at all. That very first appointment gets the car moving. Now you want to go second gear. Next thing you know, you fill the week. Next thing you know, you fill the month. Next thing you know, that is now become one attractive MO box full of stuff like mine. And the calendar is starting to look really, really good. So start your momentum right now. Message somebody before you go to bed. For you guys this morning, for you guys it's night time. Message somebody. Do it. Make a call to somebody. Hey, next week, e-commerce business launching. You gotta look at it. Start that vehicle moving right now. All right. So I think we've dealt with this confusion thing. At this point, Vern, why don't we? If somebody wants to say something, share something, ask something, we're early. Look at that. I'm trying to shrink these calls so we can do it. Have some Q&A afterwards. But it's just so much to talk about. So, back to you, Vern.
Okay. Thank you so much for me. It's actually, I have the pleasure of being the host for this week to qualify.
Right, you're being certified. Renee Liao, our youngest multi-millionaire, is being certified to be a host. This is the new QPQT program. Is that cool? Let's give Renee a hand. Did he do a good job? Should we certify him, or he has to do it again? It wasn't good enough, right? He has to do it again. Should we fail him? Should we fail him? Should we fail him or pass him? Put it in the chat group. Does Renee Leo pass? Does it certify as a host, or should we do it again? It goes to show that we all got to go through the ropes. There's no shortcuts in business. And of course, when I heard about the new QT program being launched, I submitted my name right away to try to get myself certified right away. Because who doesn't want to get paid to do trainings and presentations, right? So, but more importantly, you got to lead by example, and that's exactly what I saw here was a chance to just walk the talk. And but we do have some questions coming in here. One is actually by our to me the host is the best hostess I've ever heard of. That's Bernicia. She says, Ramin, many persons have the box, have the list of at least 500 names, but the fear of making the call creeps in. What was your experience when you first started, and how did you get over the hurdle of being afraid to make that first call? They're afraid because they don't have a script, right? If you have a script, because it's the fear of not knowing what to say, fear of getting rejected. And when you're fearful, then your voice cracks down and you're hesitant. And if you have a script and you've read it 10 times, you've memorized it, it's not a hard call to make. That's the very first point that I make. So again, get the script, make sure you're fluent at it, get your upline, a spouse, and just practice it hard. And after that, look, it's not very hard to tell someone, hey, listen, we're gonna have a coffee next week, launching a new e-commerce business in St. Lucia. We're going to expand it across the Caribbean. You got to look at it. I think that's a pretty easy call, right? And listen, this be at Starbucks. Everybody likes to go for a latte. Launching a new e-commerce business, running right across 26 islands in the Caribbean. I want you to look at it. And then, let me put it this way. If you call somebody and say, hey, look, start a new Amazon business. Let's meet for coffee. I want to show how it works. Everybody will show up, right? It don't show up because I love that. Yeah, because people want to know, like people are interested. If it all comes down to, here's another thing as well. You're there to share with them what you're doing. If you get nervous because you think you're trying to recruit them, you're trying to sell something. That's a result, right? That's not the cause. That's a result. Don't go there. Remember, our job is not to sell something, recruit someone. Our job is to do a presentation, is to do the tour. So whether say yes or no, maybe later, it's a win because your job, your objective was to go out there and do the tour. So as it's done, you got the win. So once you think that way, my job is, because law of averages sets in after that. So once you start thinking that way, then you're not nervous about the outcome. If you're not nervous about the outcome, you're not nervous about calling people, especially as about sharing about something you're doing, running across the country, not asking to buy anything or yeah, that's the result. Once they see what you're doing, conversation will lead into a sale right after that. So again, if you launched the Amazon business, you call somebody up, they will meet with you, they want a free coffee, same thing. I love that because and I actually had that exact same issue that Rich is talking about was, I got nervous and I got scared and I was sometimes, that story of yours, Ramin, where someone, we called someone and I think they asked you, who's this?
Can you share that story? Because that's exactly what I felt like when I think they asked you, "Oh, who's this?" and you said, "Do you know who I am?" Can you share that story and we'll call it a night?
Yeah, well, you know, when you join MLM and the upline, you're like 2 hours old. The upline tells you, go, the most successful people you know, go recruit them. So I had a pizza business. I'm 20 years old. There's a fancy Italian restaurant next to the pizza business. It's called Robbie's Spaghetti House. It's 2 locations, luxury place. Now, the guy would know me when they saw me because we ate there, but they didn't know my name. You know, I knew he was very successful. He had this big old Cadillac, and, you know, so I thought, okay, I'm going to call Robbie. So I called him up, you know, and as for Robbie, Devin got him. He said, hello. I said, hello. He said, hello. I said, this is Robbie? He said, yes. I said, do you know who this is? He said, no. I said, good. I hang up. So that was my very first big call that I made. And that's the truth. You know, because, you know, we all get kind of nervous, but you kind of get over that, right? You kind of get over that. We didn't have the skills we have today, right? Because nowadays, e-commerce, pandemic, everybody's looking to get out. Everyone's looking to do something. Today's a really good time, guys. It was a nice conversation that I was having with a bunch of my students because they're telling me there's so much. They're having a lot of fun meeting people now at a patio somewhere or coffee somewhere. People want to get out. People want to get out. Just don't use the old words like, oh, come see a presentation. None of that stuff, right? You want to do is say, hey, let's meet, launching a business, e-commerce, check out the numbers, let's have a coffee together, let's catch up. Those, keep it very, very light. And you know what? The conversation then turns into where you want it to go.
You know, I think script is so important because, you know, even for me, not only did I have scripts for, you know, the business part of it and how to invite someone, you know, have a business idea I want to share with you, I even had the questions written down for just building like and trust. You know, I really had it on my book, you know, how's it going? How does it work? Like I had all these questions written down just to, you know, open that conversation. You know, how's work? How's the family? You know, what's new with you? So for me, and I hope it helps everyone else, that having a script really is so important. I guess because for me, you know, being a programmer, I'm just thinking so logical. And again, I just can't stress that, you know, your scripts that you created, of course, they've evolved over the years. And we have a lot of those scripts, of course, in our prosperity book. And again, turn to the back of your prosperity book. There's a ton of scripts there. But again, that has been just a wonderful, fantastic training this evening. And, you know, again, a lot of people having a lot of fun. I think for the record, I am getting a pass, but I had to do 2 more hosting sessions. So,
you know what? As far as Vernisha, for example, because she's done such a good job in the Caribbean area. Look, one of the best way to start a conversation is talk about the challenges. Everyone knows the challenges, right? You know, so you know the situation, you know the challenge, you talk about that. And once you start talking about the challenges, you say something, they say something, they say something, then you come up with your solutions. You know, I've been to St. Lucia, and I know a lot of those Caribbean countries, the healthcare is donated, right? So by United Nations, they don't have great healthcare there. And I would talk about that. Like, you know, the Caribbean, the pandemic was tough. We don't have proper health care. And that's why we had such a tough time. You know, we have some products that can really help with that. I know these products are going to be hit across the Caribbean because it could really help bring a lot of solutions, a lot of problems that already exist. So you already talked about the problems. Here are the solutions. And that's just a beautiful conversation.
That is wonderful. Now, one question, I think I have time for just one more question from Nora. Her question is, when do you move in after all the how questions? So maybe like, how's the family, how's work, how's the children, how's, you know. So I guess she's asking, like, when do you transition to the reason for your call? Is it after you ask a few questions, or do you feel, you know, is there a certain time frame when you move in and you say, hey, you know, I'm having an Amazon business, you know, idea for that, let's meet for coffee? When do you go from the how questions to asking for that appointment, I guess, is her question.
Well, look, I mean, those are the old scripts, and I know where Nora's going with that. I mean, I think so much easier today nowadays. You know, hey, let's meet for coffee, and you know, and I launched an e-commerce business. I want you to take a look at it, and you know, if I'm in the countries, I'm in Norway, you know, just launch an e-commerce business. I want to put that across Norway and Scandinavian countries, and I want you to take a look at it. So let's have a coffee on Thursday. Be very strict with that. I mean, you don't actually need to, if somebody you know, right? If somebody you know. If you don't know somebody trying to build like and trust, and they're always a good way to go. Is as you know, there's been a lot of challenges in Norway, and I think we got some solutions. We're expanding across this country, and let's have a coffee. I want to show it to you. So again, starting with challenges always helps because you both agree to those challenges. Everybody was on the same page when it comes to problems, right? Everybody agrees on the problems. So once established the problems, then you can start tapping into some solutions that you have over coffee.
I think what's also great, I mean, just to add to there, is that, of course, one of my favorite scripts is that, through the pandemic, there's been a lot of challenges. And I've been looking at, some incredible products made for the pandemic. And of course, it's been such a long time, and finally lockdown was over. We'd love to go for a coffee and just catch up, So I think using the fact that, the lockdown is over, restaurants are back at full capacity, there's no more vaccine mandate, is a great reason to actually just want to go have a coffee with someone, feel like they trust as well too. So
here's the thing. You know what, guys? Over the past 2 years, I've detached myself from MLM as much as possible. Although the forensic is the ultimate MLM course, but I'm looking at, because MLM companies have stopped evolving. So, and I take a look at some of the size of some of these other companies like Facebook, right? And you're looking at PayPal, you're looking at eBay and Amazon, see how they do things. Uber, for example. I mean, and what we're doing, we're studying exactly how they're promoting their businesses. And that's exactly how we should be promoting our business. Like one of the ads of Uber, basically one of the commercials, like a 30-second commercial, is like, you know what, make an extra $300 a month, a week, using your car, right? It's a simple message. It's a simple message. $60 billion company, right? So how do we come up with some simple messages, and just to get people, because with simple, it excites people, it attracts people, right? And one of the things we're looking at today at our PowerPoint is that we're going to come up with a whole new PowerPoint, different from what we're today. We have a good PowerPoint now, but it's very detailed. I think we're beyond that in the MLM world. I think we want to take it to a completely different space where, e-commerce, take a look at Amazon, and then compare it to what we're doing. And, we don't have to get into detail all the products and the science behind the products or the science behind the comp plan, and be able to, in a very simple manner, getting someone to say, and basically selling people on the concept of being self-employed in e-commerce and working for themselves more than actually the mechanics of how the comp plan works or the products work. So we're studying the market right now, some of the bigger boys, and soon you're going to see some exciting things coming out.
That is so exciting. It is ever a dull moment in the life of the Opulence, Nation. And again, I thank you, Remy, for an amazing training call tonight. We have some really important announcements to make, of course, before we end up the call. So hang on tight here. It's going to show what we have. Again, so a lot of you, of course, have heard of the March Madness. If you didn't catch, of course, our SVP and, of course, our sales development manager, Snaz and Danny's Facebook Live. Of course, we do have an amazing corporate month, a lot of powerful presenters. So again, tomorrow evening, live, of course, at Toronto head office. Again, come on in, guys. There's no more lockdowns. There's no more mandates. No more half capacity. There's full capacity now. Come on in, kind of mix and mingle. Yeah. We have myself, of course, doing the live tour tomorrow evening, of course, live as well online. On the 9th, we have our sales development manager, of course, Daniela Ferreira. On the 16th, we have our powerful LD4 Ifra Hassan, of course, on the 16th. Follow that is the 23rd with, of course, our Senior Vice President, Sinaz Human. And to end off with the March Madness, none other than, of course, our special, very own CEO and founder, Mr. Rami Misgarlu. And that's for the March Madness. Moving along here, of course, we also have the most incredible lifestyle advisor package I have, ever seen. This is one of the most amazing packages you ever see. Again, the new LA package here, $1,875. You get $1,700 in 100% shopping credits ultra. So you have, again, you can decide what you want to buy with that. And on top of that, And what's crazy, of course, is that you can imagine the shipping for this is usually crazy, but it's coming with your package here. You do get the Safe Home Revolution as a free gift. So you're going to get, of course, the Women's Sensual Shampoo, Body Wash, and Conditioner. You have the Men's Captive Shampoo, Body Wash, and Conditioner. I use both, actually. Of course, you do also have 2 bottles of the Fountain of Life. You have your Microsilver Spray. You have your Microsilver Toothpaste. And, of course, your Sterling Amazing Lotion. So, again, that all comes for free, a $470 value with your, again, full $1,700 shopping credits ultra. So again, take advantage of this, folks. A lot of people are going to be eating this up. It will end on March the 31st. Of course, after that, we do have an amazing training happening this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. to elevate your business. And this coming Saturday, it will be none other than our Senior Vice President, Ms. Sanaz Human, with tips to help you boost your business and, of course, your entrepreneurial mindset. You heard it before, right? You know, it all happens between the 2 years. So the stronger the mind, the stronger your business. And it is time to take your business to the next level and give yourself the income supplement you have been looking for and, of course, most likely needing during these times. So don't miss this coming Saturday's training at 10 a.m. And our last announcement, of course, is we announced the amazing Toronto Boot Camp, folks. I learned the most in this business. I have not till this day, it has been over 14 years of me in this business. You know, I'm blessed with the youngest multi-millionaire of the company. I have never, and listen carefully, you know, I think I know a lot about this business by now 14 years, you know, traveled the world, trained, you know, many teams. I never miss a boot camp. And that's 14, because I'm always still learning something new. And we have our coming boot camp upcoming March 19th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Get there early, grab your seats. Don't sit at the back of the room where there could be, you know, distractions. Always grab the seats at the front of the room because you can get 100%, you know, one-on-one talking face-to-face here. You're going to get business training. You're going to get product training. You're going to get mindset training. You're going to get trained by people who have made their millions, of course, in this industry. Tickets are usually $45, folks. Again, you know, and if you buy it now until March 11th, you get the early bird special for just $30. That's a $15 savings by buying your ticket right now. And what I would suggest for everyone here is don't just buy your own ticket. You know, buy 4, 5, 10 extra tickets, because what happens is after March the 11th, you're going to want to invite your guests. You want to invite your prospects, you invite your new team members, right? And some people always don't have the chance to buy it, or they buy late. They're sort of, you know, procrastinators. You want to buy extra tickets because, again, those tickets you will sell even after, of course, the March 11th date. So, we're getting a sneak preview of something that Ramin had just flashed the camera here. Maybe my talking distracted you, but he put something in his mouth and he swallowed something. I think it's something coming up soon, and I think it's a sneak preview. Is that true, Ramin? Sneak preview or something?
That was a clinical.
That was the clinical, folks. I can guarantee you, every time I've been to a boot camp, you know, my business, literally, my income would go up every single time I went to a boot camp. But here's what's really important. What's important is not just you coming to the boot camp. It's important that you invite every single prospect in your team who's in a 5 to 6 hour driving radius to come to live in Toronto. If they can't come live because you're international, please make sure that you dial in to our Zoom that will be announced at that point in time. The location will be announced somewhere in the Richmond Hill, perhaps the Sheraton. But again, what's most important is it is in Richmond Hill. Buy your ticket now, folks, because again, it is just too much of a risk to not be at this training to take your business to a whole new level. Again,
you know, we might, you know, for that big boot camp, we'll see if we can have enough clinical for everyone to try it for one day supply for everybody to try right there on the spot. So I'm always patient. I'm always case number one, right? Again, for a while, it was me the first one that tried it, and I've been on this. You know what's amazing? It's the ingredients are so awesome. You can actually open it and just put it in your mouth. There's no taste to it. That's what I love about it. Because usually capsules and stuff, they don't taste good. There's an aftertaste and stuff. This one, you can actually open it, and then you know, tastes like so it tastes like vegetation type of thing. It's pretty damn good. So I'm really excited about that.
Renisha says, Remy, I have put an order I placed today. I guess she's having for our collagen.
She will.
I don't know how Renisha's getting. So, Renisha has the hookups. Renisha, hook me up if you get some, of course, of that new FO Clinical. But of course, folks, make sure you put in your order. And again, Remy, on behalf of the whole entire Oculus Nation here, we want to thank you again. You work relentlessly around the clock. You don't have to be on this call. You're still at work. CEO, after 16 years, is still working later than most other people, again, in this company here. We give you our thanks and our love. And, we're going to follow you to the billion. So, folks, on behalf of all of us, again, thank you, Remy. Thank you for being on the call tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Wish you a wonderful evening. Stay forensic to the billion. And we'll see you, of course, tomorrow live 7 p.m. at the Toronto head office, of course, on Zoom. Until then, stay safe, keep taking your products, and we'll see you to the billion. Good night, everyone.
Stay forensic, everybody. Stay forensic.
Stay forensic. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
All right, YouTube, just make sure when I end the call, just come back and make a comment to get YouTube's attention and the algorithm. Thank you, everybody.